Hey everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports and welcome back to At the Buzzer. I'm here, as always, with Jack Tiernan. Jack, how you doing?
Brian, good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it's been a minute since we talked really anything basketball, Celtics specifically, East standings. We're going to cover it all in this one. I think, that's a good place to start is what's going on in the East? Like, is Cleveland ever going to lose? Will they lose tonight?
I hope they lose tonight. That's a
Yeah, me
great
too.
starting point, I think, right? I think we both hope they lose tonight.
Mhm.
I think, I mean, they look really cohesive right now. They really do. So I think you have that combination. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's played together for a year now, right? You could say the same thing for guys like um, Tatum and Brown, right? It took them a while to get to play together. Now they won a championship. So you see guys like Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, right? Like that group of four is they're meshing really well right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we all expected them to be good,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
they're like amazing this season. They're breaking records
Yeah.
in terms of like how many points they're scoring in games. Like this is pretty crazy.
It is points per game, similar to us last year. Honestly, you look at I think the last team to start like this was the best record ever Warriors in 2017.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I mean, you don't go 15-0 by accident, right? So that's impressive.
Yeah. And Cleveland fans have suffered more than anyone, maybe. Certainly football wise, they're still suffering. So, got to feel a little bit good for them here, though. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out long term. Um, do you have a prediction for tonight's game?
I I think it's really being set up as like Celtics need to win. Like they gotta make a statement. I don't think they do. I'll be honest. I don't think
Oh,
Celtics.
all right. So
Yeah,
you're picking the Cavs to
I'm gonna
beat.
pick the Cavs tonight. I think that might be frowned upon. I feel like I'm a notorious Celtics homer, but like in this case,
Yeah,
like
yeah. The
I
Wicked
mean,
Good Sports. It's the brand to.
it's the it's the brand plus like I mean they've proven it, you know. So I
Mm,
think I mean the Cavs have proven it right now. I don't if there is one team to beat them right now, I think it's us. But I don't. I mean, they're not gonna go 82-0. So
right.
I I mean I I don't know if it's us though. I'll say that.
All right. So we'll see how that plays out. Um, I know we talked before the show. You wanted to highlight a player who's stepping it up this season. Tell me about Norm Powell.
My man Norm Powell, he's like your standard bench warmer. He's 31 years old, right? He's been kind of like out and about for a while. He's on the Clippers and he can't stand Paul George because the minute Paul George leaves, he steps up and now he's shooting I think almost 24 points per game, which is crazy. Like he was like sixth, seventh, eighth type of guy. Like he's in your rotation for sure, but he wasn't a guy getting insane minutes. Now he's starting. He's got 50% field goal percentage from the field, and he's shooting. I mean, for like a wing guard combo dude, like that's really impressive. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just looked it
23
up.
points, 8
His
points.
his career average is 12.6. So this is nearly double his
Yeah,
career
yeah.
average. And so do you really, you said it as a joke, but do you think that Paul George moving on is, you know, lit a fire under him? What's the connection there?
I think it's definitely opening opportunities. Obviously, right? He wouldn't be getting
Right.
these minutes if George was still there. Um,
Mm,
but I do think I think it lit a fire under him. It gave him an opportunity to start for a team that wasn't really like once PG left, it wasn't really
mm,
supposed to compete. And
right.
then James Harden's drilling threes, racking up assists. Um, Kawhi's in a hospital somewhere. Like it's kind of like it's exactly what
Yeah.
you'd expect otherwise. It's just insane to me that Norm Powell is the guy that steps up. Like you said, 12 points per game, and now he's doubling that. So I
Yeah.
mean, good for him. Don't get me wrong,
Mm.
but just not. I don't think nobody would have been like, yeah, Norm Powell's putting up 24 a game at this point in the
No,
season.
definitely not. And I think, while we're on the topic of the Clippers, James Harden passed Ray Allen,
He
number
did.
two all time 3 pointers. What do you think of that? I feel like it was a bit underrated of a story. I feel like I didn't hear tons of people hyping it up or talking about it. I thought it would have been, more fanfare.
No, it snuck up on him for sure. And I think if you look at the accuracy numbers, he's definitely lower. It is interesting to think about just because his Houston years, where he, after leaving OKC, right, he was sent there, and we all know him. But James Harden from Houston is a different player than James Harden in Philly or in Brooklyn or
Right.
in LAC, right? Like, so to see him pass, I don't want to say there's an asterisk because that's not fair. Because you say Steph's a volume shooter too, but he also has that crazy accuracy. I
Mm.
think you look at a guy like Ray Allen, and he's a guy who made it. His accuracy was his thing,
Mm.
whereas Steph, it's a combination of that and volume, and then Harden is more volume. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say like volume is less appreciated, but like there is an asterisk for me where I'm like, oh, because he put up 8 threes, 9 threes a game in Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely get that. I also think though, you got to be good enough to be allowed to take that many shots,
Right.
right? You get
Yes, he
like,
earned it.
yeah, if he wasn't good and wasn't scoring a lot, then his team and coaches wouldn't have been like okay with him chucking up so many threes. So I think it like evens out there.
It does. And you look at the career of a good comparison, honestly, is kind of Dame, right? If you look
Mhm.
at Dame, who was kind of the same type of player, he's a little bit more like he'll drive, he'll do everything a little bit better than Harden did early in his career.
Mhm.
But same thing, Dame's like 6 on the all time list, but I wouldn't consider him necessarily a prolific shooter. I
Right.
think, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's great and Dame time and all that, right? But I think Harden should get his flowers. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
because like you said, you have to earn that ability to be able to take 8 to 9 threes a game, and he did that. So good for him. I think it was really not touched on at all, though. You're right. So that I don't know if it's because he's on an irrelevant team or his career is
Yeah.
kind of like
Definitely probably a combination.
he's kind of a villain. That's the thing. He left OKC and everyone was mad. He left Houston,
Mhm.
everyone was mad. He left Brooklyn, everyone was mad. Like every time he leaves, people are mad. So not
Yeah.
everybody loves him.
He'll always be a hero for me for wearing a fat suit to get traded. So
Electric.
no other explanation for what happened there other than that. So, shout out James Harden. Congrats on being number 2 all time for threes. Um, so there's been some drama for the Philadelphia 76ers, uh, you know, threatening reporters in the locker room, missing games. Tell me where the Sixers are at right now.
Sixers are in a real bad place. And as a perpetual Nick Nurse hater, I couldn't be
Mhm.
happier. But at the same time, it is alarming to me at the state of disarray that organization is in right now. I mean, I know we can all say Joel is injury prone, right? He's been injury prone his entire career. But to be called out by your younger all star, maybe some might say at this stage in his career, better player on your team who's kind of like taking over that role. I mean, Joel's dominant, but Tyrese Maxey, is that his team now? Like he's calling out Joel for being late to team meetings and pretty much everything, practice, all that. Dude's playing half the games because he's just injury management and openly admitting to it. Like
Mm.
it's for what we thought would be a contender. They're a mess right now.
Yeah, it's definitely like an example of these teams not taking the regular season that seriously, where they're like, we'll make the playoffs because so many teams make the playoffs. We'll be good enough to make the playoffs, and then, we'll see what happens. I did see a funny tweet, of course, when he did threaten that reporter in the locker room and he got suspended for 3 games. Someone was like, if you wanted to punish him, you should make him play 3 straight games.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
like, so not good, not good stuff going on there. And then they got the Bucks who
dude.
I
Yeah,
don't know, they started bad. They've been a little better lately. There was that NBA Sentinel,
yeah.
whatever.
Central, I
It's
think.
yeah, the parody of NBA Central, where like did a fake quote about Doc Rivers being like, "Okay, I'll start taking coaching seriously now," and then we started to win games, which is very
After
funny.
that,
Yeah,
insane.
but yeah, what do you think of this Bucks team?
I mean, they're 9-5 right now. Time of recording, like
Mm.
that's. I'm sorry, 5-9 rather.
Yeah,
I'm so used to
the other way. They're
assuming,
not. Yeah,
yeah, a winning
right.
record. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're. I mean, it's not like they've really lost to great teams either. Like the
Mhm.
Hornets, the obviously we beat them. I mean, the Knicks beat them. The Cavs. So they're okay. I take that back. There are some good teams in
There's
here,
some
but
good teams. Yeah.
There's some good teams, but then you look at the loss to the Nets, and there's like a 13-point differential. The loss to the Grizzlies without Ja with a 23-point differential. I like. There's some really ugly stuff in here. They did beat the 76ers though, so that's progress. But I
That's
mean,
something.
I don't. Is this just further proving that Dame and Giannis can't work together, or is Giannis a child? Like, I don't. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's been a
I really.
debate lately too.
I guess so. I mean, you have to look at the makeup of these teams and just considering the star power and the proven like, hey, we work well together from years past, and you have to look at just coaching, right? There might be something here that is coaching, and there might be egos at play. Finally, I don't know what to say, man. It's ugly in Milwaukee and Philly right now.
Yeah, it feels the pendulum has swung. Like, before it was all about the coaches getting the most out of the players, being very, like Phil Jackson,
Yes.
Pat Riley, being like very like intense. And then it swung to be more of like a players' league, and the coaches aren't even that important. Like who's the guy who won in Cleveland and got fired like immediately after with LeBron?
Oh man. Oh
Yeah,
god, that was bad.
like that type of a thing where it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter who the coach is, it more matters who the players are. And so I wonder if the pendulum will start to swing back. We got people like Joe Mazzulla, who's a fucking psychopath, and
Love him. Yeah.
yeah, it seems like the players are motivated by him.
Yes.
He's getting the most out of all these players. I mean, Derek White is great now, and he got traded to the Celtics as like an okay player,
Yeah.
but now he's like one of the top 3 players on the team, like consistently scoring a lot. Peyton Pritchard having a great season so far. Like he's getting, obviously Tatum and Brown, they're going to be playing well, but they also never won a championship before.
Right.
Joe either. So, I wonder if he's going to switch back. Just like, okay, we want more, hard ass coaches in the NBA.
Yeah. You look at Joe, and you look at, I mean, former Celtics legend Ime Udoka, like same guys
he's a
like
great
that.
coach too. Yeah,
he is. And then you look at, and I don't want to say guys like Doc, but like guys like Nick Nurse. But there's this like fake tough guy, like weird persona. There's not the actual like Ime looks like. Ime can be a dick, like, and same thing with Joe. Like I think that is maybe the trend towards like you want to win, you gotta kind of suck it up and like do the shit that we're telling you to do.
Yeah, it definitely like the mid 2000s on, it became way more of a player first league, and I wonder if it's just like, you can't really tell LeBron anything.
No,
you can't.
not.
But like, I wonder if some of these younger players, it's like you're not LeBron, so you actually do have to listen and do these strategies.
And you look, I mean, maybe that's the turnaround, like same thing, right? Like there might have been that narrative for a little bit at some of these teams, maybe in Boston, right? Maybe in Houston. And then you have guys like Joe and Ime come in and kind of be the hard ass. And they're both on the up and up. Obviously, Boston has already been on the up and up, but Houston's on the up and up yet again. So maybe I think you're onto something there, right? That pendulum is swinging.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be following it. As it does. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, nothing tonight. I hope the Celtics pull it out, man. I do, but we'll have to see.
Should be a fun game.
For sure.
Should be good. Can you tell? I don't know if you're on Twitter anymore. I'm on and off of it, but anything you want to promote, tell people where to follow you, all that, floor is yours.
I am on and off Twitter as well, but for now I'm still on, so you can follow me there at Jack_Tiernan. I'm also on Blue Sky as of recently, but to be completely honest with you, my handle is it's Jack Tiernan. Very easy. So
all right, I don't know if I follow you yet. I'm gonna go follow you.
I made it literally hours ago, Brian. So you are
okay.
You get a pass, I think. Our followers
bad.
Now you're good. So follow me either of those places. Maybe we'll start posting on Blue Sky a little bit more. But if not, you can get my unhinged self on Twitter.
All right. So yeah, Blue Sky, Twitter, same for me. Fake Bmar on Twitter and just Brian Marr on Blue Sky. I'm gonna try to use it more. Also on Threads. I don't know if people are using Threads. I feel like no, from what I've seen. But like, if you want to follow me there, you can search Brian Marr. All that. Other than that, the YouTube channel is, of course, where you get sports. We got tons of shorts happening, tons of TikToks where you get sports also there. We got the spin-off channel, Fake Nerds. Check that out. And the main channel where you get everything. And, of course, Better Radio, our non-sports podcasting channel. So, yeah, go check all of those out. And, Jack, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, Brian. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you all in the next one.